Welcome back to the show. We're talking about the APEC forum that took place in Lima, Peru over the weekend, and we're discussing the growing relationship between China and Latin America as Chinese President Xi Jinping visits 3 countries in the region. Joining me now from Santiago is Fernando Reyes Matta. He is a former ambassador. How significant is this visit by the Chinese leader for your country, Chile?
Well, I think it's important to underline something. The visit of the President Xi Jinping have these great values that is never before a Chinese leader has known Latin American as the President Xi Jinping. He visited many times. He visited before our reality. So he understands what is the possibility for the new bridge, the new common dialogue between China and Latin America. What, in my opinion, is the most important challenger is for us. For the Latin American and the Caribbean country, we need to understand what happened now in China. What means the new normal? What means the new economic development? What means the innovation as an essential part of the new reality in China? We need to put the connection between China and Latin America, China and Chile particularly, in this new level. We need to create other field for the common links. That's my reaction.
Eric, certainly the Chinese leader emphasized free trade in that address to APEC, but let's look at what's happening right now. The Trans-Pacific Partnership, something pushed very hard by the Obama administration here in Washington, is now dead. I think Donald Trump put the final nail in the coffin on Monday. Does this mean China now has the opportunity to take the lead in driving trade, economic relations in that region?
Anand, I think we're at an inflection point in the Asia-Pacific. I mean, traditionally, the United States has played a very important role in terms of driving a certain agenda toward liberalization, not just on the trade and investment side, but in terms of other values-based issues as well. It's very clear that based on the vote here in the United States on November 8th, that the American public is looking for a new direction and voted for Mr. Trump, who clearly, as you indicated, has suggested that the United States will pull out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership. So I think we have to assume that he's going to do that, and TPP is indeed dead. What that means is there's a huge opportunity for the leader of China, and I saw that personally in Lima at the APEC meetings. I was there, and I saw the president's speech, and he very clearly laid out an agenda with China at the middle, saying to the Latin American and other leaders who were there, come join us, we're moving forward. He didn't say anything about the United States or about TPP, but it was implicit. If there are other places and other countries who don't want to join us, that's fine, but we're moving forward and we encourage you to join us. So there's a huge opportunity here for China, and I think the Chinese leader has seized that. The question is, does this opportunity get realized? Does it get implemented? It's a very strong vision, but that's what it is at this point, and it needs to be fleshed out. It needs to be implemented, and there are some realities here. There's geographic distance, there's history, there's culture, there's language barriers, and we also have a certain difference in value structures between and among governments. So this is not a certain path ahead. It's not necessarily a straight line, but it's a massive opportunity, and again, from what I saw, we could very well be at a global inflection point where you're having a shift in the strategic paradigm right now in the Asia-Pacific.
Right. There is an alternative plan. That is the free trade area. I'll get to you in a moment, Ambassador. That is the free trade area of the Asia-Pacific, the FTAAP, which is, of course, championed by China. The Pacific Economic Cooperation Council says the FTAAP will add an estimated $2.4 trillion of output to the global economy by 2025. Is that the blueprint that China is looking for, the basis for which it expands its influence in the region?
Well, it certainly seems to be. President Xi mentioned that specifically and said that's where we need to go collectively. The FTAAP is part of the APEC agenda. It has been for about 10 years, but it's been not much action has been taken on it as China has pursued its own regional strategy, the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, and the United States and some of the other countries have pursued the TPP. But now without TPP, it looks like if we want to really link together in the Asia-Pacific, FTAAP, the Free Trade Area of the Asia-Pacific, does seem to be one way forward. But there's also very important additional additional point that the One Belt, One Road initiative that has been at the center of China's economic international development for some time now and has really been focused on Asia, the president said in Lima that he welcomed Latin American participation in One Belt, One Road. In my view, this is a tremendous expansion, tremendous in terms of large expansion of ambition, because now it's not just contiguous landmass nations that are being invited to participate. Now this becomes a global initiative. So we really are seeing some fundamental changes here in linkages and economic relationships, and it will be fascinating to see how those develop.
Reyes Matta, go ahead.
No, I say that in this framework that you mentioned, I think it's important to understand something. Latin American will live triangle. The triangle is United States, China, Latin America. This is the reality. What means the 21st century? That at the same time, we will have some links with United States, obviously. But for other side, we have a strong link with China and other Asia-Pacific countries. This interaction what means that today, this country, Latin American country, my country, have the opportunity that we can call the multi-links, multi-pertenency in the diplomatic field, in the diplomatic arena, international arena. That is the possibility to create some particular connection, some particular common interest, win-to-win, between Asia-Pacific, China particularly, and another, with this area, with this continent. That is the important. But particularly in the connection between China, Chile, and another country. You promote the idea of harmonic society. We promote the idea of cohesion, social cohesion. There are a common links, a common reality in the connection between state market society. That is the real agenda that we need to work, the connection between state market society. Right. Inside that, we create many area connection.